Amir before on the dark web that will like kind of do a bit of a string search, but it'll
This is cool. Let's podcast it.
Yeah.
let's do that with the podcast. Okay, I'm ready.
What's the plan, person? Welcome back.
CyberSpace.
Empirical Team. Do you know what I mean? So they're like Empirical Team. Welcome back.
Hello and welcome back to the CyberSpace podcast by Empirical Training. It's your host Josh, and I've got the other three Empirical trainers. We got Robbie. Say hello.
Evening.
And Robbie is a cybersecurity consultant, former SOC leader, doing a lot of stuff with setting up a SOC and SIEM services and helping assist with the sales. They're really doing everything. They're really getting their money's worth out of you at the moment, aren't they, Rob?
I'm glorified salesman at this point, but I'm actually enjoying it. But yeah, I'm sitting in between, so doing some SOC consulting and then helping out sales and empowering the sales team as well to ask the right questions, the right qualifying questions, and increase the confidence as well, because that's something that a lot of teams are lacking. A lot of sales teams, they feel that they're not armed with the right information to have the correct conversations with customers, and they think that they need to bring on the technical team sooner than they actually do. So that's the goal. It's fairly tricky, but I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, and that's true in some of the huge organizations as well. There's not enough technically skilled people to kind of have those conversations, and sometimes you get people throwing buzzwords at a wall and seeing what sticks rather than having actual high value conversations. And you know, we got Vaughan and AJ with us. Vaughan and AJ, if you had heard a salesperson kind of talk about security inaccurately, they talked about protection when they were talking about a SOC monitoring tool, blocking. What would you think of that seller?
Well, I mean, they don't know what they're talking about, right? If you're just connecting something that has no way of stepping in and preventing. Obviously, there's SOAR solutions that can do that sort of stuff, but yeah, the lingo definitely gets mixed up sometimes.
It's that detection versus protection versus response and all those. It's a fine line to tread, but that's Vaughan. Vaughan is our AI security specialist, also SOC leader. Say hello, Vaughan, so they get your voice.
Hello, everyone. High praise as an AI specialist, but thanks for listening, and I'm glad to be here.
It's the internet. We can be whatever we want to be. I'm joking.
Yeah,
you got to own it soon.
Yeah, Josh, that meme you posted the other day where it said they don't know you're a dog.
No one knows you're a dog on the internet unless you tell them.
Yeah. I do like that, to be fair.
Yeah. And the final person there, you heard him, AJ, Andrew Jones, my dear friend and one of the best incident response consultants that I know. Everyone's getting major big ups today.
Yeah, we're all getting big ups. Yeah. Hey, everyone. Good to be back on the podcast. Nice to... Oh, Day One Dens. Yeah,
he's changed his name as well.
So maybe AJ is a dog on the internet.
Building.
He's just got some golden Labrador energy there, got distracted. So we're doing this podcast with the chat, as we've started doing recently. So this is our school community. That's school.com/cybersec to find us. And we like to record these live to actually get everybody involved in the community into this recording. So you can't hear them, but we will be reading out what they're saying as they kind of guide us along, ask us provocative questions, or just spam buses in the chat.
Yeah, buses. Yeah, if you've gone back to episode 1 of the podcast, you'll know why I still get called a bus driver. Even in the Discord sometimes, there's a bus emojis flying around in there. We don't even do anything in the Discord anymore.
Well, I was driving down the M4 the other day. There's a motorway in the UK for our international listeners, and I saw your father's bus company go past me twice.
Oh yeah, they're doing a lot of trips to London, and that could have been me if I didn't go down the cybersecurity route. I had I passed the theory. I never actually learned to drive a bus, but you know.
Nice. And there's the empirical training law. If you were listening from the first episode, he's brought you up to speed a bit there. But the day one Dens and day one everyone else would know that. So, Rob, I want to toss it over to you, because I think what we'd like to do on this podcast is talk about some of the discussions we've been having in the school community with our cybersecurity community. And I think you had a really good one that you were talking about just before we started recording.
Yeah, I was calling out all expert OSINT ninjas in the community just to see if someone could try and find a ledger data dump, just a text file that was floating about the internet that was available. I believe at one point it was on Pastebin, and I'm not sure if it was the 2020 breach or the 2023 breach for Ledger, but yeah, there were some names and email addresses and actual physical addresses that were leaked in a text file. We're doing some like VIP footprint profiling in the job that I'm in, and it would have been really, really useful for that. And I can't find it anywhere. A lot of us at my business have been trying to scour the internet for it, and I've done a few dark web searches as well. I'm no ninja on the dark web. I think this is something that I should get better at. I know that there's like certain sites like AMIA, like AHMIA, that you can do a search and it'll the returns are all .onion websites. So it like basically gives you anything you search for, it'll spit back, but it'll also give you a .onion website. So, but yeah, couldn't find it, on there. So if anyone's got any suggestions, I'd be very appreciative.
PSA, somebody send us that and make sure we'll know if it's not a .txt file, and we won't open anything that isn't a .txt file. But is this the 10 billion unique plain text passwords that I saw going around on the news? Is that the one you're talking about? I think it was only released a couple of weeks ago, early July 4th is the article I've just found, but I think it was just before that.
I think it's the previous one. I believe that there was one in 2020, and I'm not sure if there were any passwords even involved. I think it was just names, email addresses, and physical addresses. Okay. But yeah, can't seem to find it anywhere, which is super annoying.
So 2 questions for you. What would an attacker use this list for? Because that's what this was originally for. And what are you going to use it for as a defender with your organization?
It's kind of an OSINT exercise. It's gathering as much information about somebody to show them how large their digital footprint is on the internet. It's kind of like a bespoke footprint service that we're trying to spin up on the side as a bit of like just a side service. But an attacker would obviously just use it against the actual individual, probably focusing on their email address to start, because if they're using that email address to associate to Ledger and to use it for a Ledger account, you can bet your bottom dollar that it's going to be one of their primary email addresses that they use on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, craft a nice little cheeky phishing email that's definitely specifically focused on something to do with cryptocurrency or a problem with their Ledger account, which I'm sure already happened. I'm sure people were getting hit left, right, and center with some emails saying that they need to change some credentials or something that's related to their Ledger account.
Yeah, and this is why kind of personal security is so important. You might not think that when you're giving away your email address or whatever, that it could cause a problem down the line. But whatever you put your email address in, wherever you put your personal information, that could be taken from that website and then used on a more sensitive area to try and get in. So
I was trying to explain. Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I was just saying I was having a funny conversation with my friends a couple of weeks ago, talking about trying to explain the notion of like defense in depth when it comes to personal OPSEC or personal just security in general, where most people have a lot of people just have one password for everything, which is another conversation, but also a lot of people just have one email address. So that's not really defense in depth. You want to spread that out. You want to associate multiple email addresses to multiple accounts online to give yourself the best chance. And
segmentation, really, isn't it? It's segmenting your online personas for different things you use it for. Yeah,
and the best way that I can describe it to my friends to talk about the dangers of having just one email address, I was basically treating it. Your one email address is the reception to your hotel. So if you want to get a key to each individual room, then you use the reception, because that's where all of the keys are held. So if somebody gets access to your reception, then they could get access to each individual key. They can reset passwords all back to one email address and then gain access to like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, eBay, PayPal, anything. If it's all one email.
Yeah. I've heard that the hotel reception kind of in different doors used for firewalls versus web application firewalls. I've not heard that example. So hotels really coming in clutch with the different cybersecurity metaphors you can use them for.
I'm sure there's another one we can tie it into as well.
If anyone got one in the chat, post it now.
Oh, we have somebody in the chat, Pierre, saying I have between 5 and 10 email addresses.
Ooh,
yeah,
mysterious.
Very mysterious. Yeah,
Doesn't tell us exactly how many. I like it, Pierre.
Yeah, I like that actually.
Between
You
5
kind
and
of should know.
But, I mean, that is the challenge as well. I have to say, I've fallen victim myself for an account that I won't say what it is, but I've seen it's very sensitive. And when you kind of go overboard on the security, and then you don't use it for a long period of time, and you come back, and I can't remember for the life of me what I've done, and I know it's nothing that I've done elsewhere. And I think I had a physical reminder. I also wrote myself cryptic clues. I never quite write it down, but I can't even find that. So they're going to get a call from the helpline, and as somebody who knows what the attackers will be doing, I always feel really shifty, like I'm an attacker, even though it's my own account that I'm trying to recover. So I'm not really looking forward to that conversation with the helpline, and if they give it to me really quickly, I'll be equally annoyed, because then that's too easy. What if I was a dodgy fella? Anyway,
you're gonna complain then.
Can't win.
You could try and be cryptic, Josh, and see what social engineering you can get away with, and see if they actually give you your stuff.
Yeah, put on a Texan accent as well.
Yeah, what if I never get into it? I lose access to the thing forever. Yeah.
I think talking about different email addresses there is a good service. A 10-minute mail and like 20-minute mail. Like if you're looking to sign up to just some random website just to have a look to see what it is, you don't need to use your most prized email address. You don't even need to use a proper email address. Just use like 10-minute mail, sign up to the account. It's just basically a burner email, and then you can just get rid of it. But yeah, keep them all separately. That's what we recommend, because like Robbie says, that if they get access to that one email address, and you'd be surprised what your email address is used for, you get access to basically everything in that person's life. So yeah, that was quite intense.
Like your Gmail.
Yeah, if you're you go into a shop now, and instead of printing a paper receipt, they'll say, "Oh, can I get an email for a receipt?"
Yeah.
They spam the shit out of you with marketing, so don't give them your primary email address. Even just go onto Gmail, set up a new email address, and call it yourname.spam.
Yeah,
it's even more hilarious than when you go, "Oh yeah, I've got an email," and then you're like, "It's this .spam." And they're looking at you like, okay, there's no point even sending any marketing emails now.
A life hack I learned from someone as well is you can also ask for a paper receipt still. So when they ask for your email,
what about the trees?
Yeah,
The environment.
they grow back.
That's just what they say, though. They say the trees, isn't it? Just to get your email address.
Yeah, they grow back.
Someone did persuade me of like, "Oh, but if you sign up, you do get 10% off." And I was like, "Oh, that is actually okay."
How good of a voucher can I get?
But there's also the email forwarding. Because you can, if you think of thinking, "Hey, I don't want to have to go log into 10 different emails," you can also forward any emails from one address to like your primary one, or one that, so you can access them all and view all the emails in that forwarding. That's the email forwarding rules.
Right.
Do you gents use like your own domains for anything? I don't give it away, of course, but any like at busdriver.com or something that you own.
I actually don't have. No, I don't have. Well, I've got AJ CyberSec. If you want to join the newsletter, that's over there as well. It is hosted on our Empirical website, but it's hosted on ajcybersec.com. But yeah, I don't really have one other than that. I've got loads of random email addresses that I use for, like Robbie says, like spam emails and stuff. But yeah, other than that, no.
Yeah, the amount of random Gmail addresses I've got are insane. Like just from absolutely stupid. Like I've got one that's literally your favorite grandpa at gmail.com.
Sounds like an OnlyFans.
If anyone's listening and finds that hilarious, send me a random email to your favorite grandpa. Favorite is spelt the English way, by the way, for our American listeners. Yeah.
I've got an internet fact, slightly not related to cybersecurity, but related to the American spelling. And when I say internet fact, I mean I don't know if it's true or not, but it
You
sounds.
just made it. You made it up. You just made it up.
A dog could have written it on the internet. But apparently, the reason that Americans have they drop the U from color or favorite, and they use one N instead of two N's in some words, is apparently capitalist driven. So when they did the printing press back in the day, you'd pay for the titles per letter, and so to save money, they would not bother paying for the unnecessary letters. And over time, that just people just got so used to seeing it in the newspaper, that's how they started spelling. It doesn't sound. I don't know if I haven't verified it, but I thought, hey, maybe that could be true.
That is a good fact. To be fair.
Yeah, if that's the case, why would they change bin to trash can?
How many headlines? Trash can on the loose kills 4.
Yeah, stolen trash can.
Right, well, this is a good time to move on. In the chat, we can see people resonating with the receipt email mockery. And I think it's quite fun to say a weird email like Robbie said and kind of see their eyes kind of light up. Pierre uses 3 password managers for his 8 emails.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. You surely
you have to hop through each of them.
Yeah, why do you need 3 password managers? I get 2 because you could potentially have your master password for the other in each one.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 makes sense, but 3
like
I'm not sure about
Inception.
that. Yeah.
Inception with password managers.
He's segmentation. He's defense in depth, like you said, Rob.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
I mean,
touche.
That's the whole thing with security, though. It's raised a really good point that security is that balance between what's going to keep you more secure and what's going to make your life more inconvenient. That's true on a personal level. That's true for a business level, right?
Yeah.
If employees are having to jump through 10 hoops and spend an hour a day on unnecessary, they see unnecessary security steps, they're losing an hour of productivity every day. Is it, do they work for a government nuclear facility where that level of security is required? That's where you kind of do your you threat model. You look at your risk appetites and the risk profiles of things. So what could go wrong? How likely is it to go wrong? And then how many controls do I need to put on there to make sure it doesn't happen versus what can I kind of maybe let slide? No question there, but comments?
I was just laughing at Natasha's comment saying, going back to your printing press, well, you made up fact. And here in Canada, we're caught in the middle of the UK spelling and the US spelling. So I guess they didn't have printing presses over there.
In Canada. Best of both worlds. What I've been really enjoying, Natasha, I've seen lots of videos of the Canadian roadman recently. They kind of talk like the London roadman. I'm not going to try and do it. I know Vaughan's smiling because he thinks I am.
I reckon Robbie got
I thought that'd be a Robbie thing.
Robbie, you got that in you, or can we request that for next time?
What should I say?
Ooh, do you know the Canadian roadman accent, or can you just do a normal roadman?
I could probably do a normal roadman.
All right. Imagine you're going back to your scam stories episode. You are a roadman trying to sell the TV as part of the scam to an unsuspecting Robbie in the car park of MacArthur Glen.
Oi, big man. Oi, big man, you want to buy some TVs, yeah? Waste, man, you know.
Not bad. We'll get the Canadian one next time.
Oh, we got Dens. Dens is loving that one. Loving the accents. If you don't know, Robbie's got a few accents up his sleeve. When we used to work together, he'd have a different accent every day. And I think it was the Scouser one.
For me, it was Smeagol. That was my favorite. I think that came out when he was really stressed.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to get on Patreon for a Schmeagol.
Chat's in tears there. I think at some of the accents.
You're gonna have to do a whip round to get me to do Schmeagol live on YouTube and StreamYard.
Just the thought of you stressed over an incident and turned into Schmeagol is making me cry.
Crawl into the toilet.
So I'm laughing at the chat now. They're just doing quotes of Smeagol and stuff. Oh wait, no, that's not Smeagol. That's the roadman.
Yeah, that's the roadman. Yeah.
How about them TVs?
I read that in Smeagol's accent.
How about them TVs there, bud? The Canadian accent is really hard to do as well.
Yeah, Rob, please research the Canadian Roadman. I think you'll crack up at
Yeah,
it.
all right. I'll do some YouTubing and I'll get back.
But
I'll send Natasha a private video on a school.
Day one Den said he'll pay you your hourly rate for your accents.
Steve, careful, Dens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, shall we? Lots of fun. Shall we put ourselves onto a cybersecurity topic before we?
And I'm afraid we're not going to talk about anything cybersecurity or no big stories this week anyway. That was our bonus episode. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little different to what we normally do. You know, we always like to put a little bit of a messing about, a little bit of fun in between the serious topics that we talk about, the educational pieces, as well as stuff that has a bit more geopolitical implications or whatever it might be in the cybersecurity world, because there's a whole spectrum that can come up, from vandalisms to genuine critical infrastructure being destroyed, or hospitals down, and people losing quality of life or even loss of life. So, we keep it fun, but also we get into the serious bits as well. This episode, we just kept it fun. We actually talked probably for longer than we normally do. The community really seemed to enjoy it, and we just kind of ran with it. So actually, when we started talking about cybersecurity, that's what you heard last week. That was where we just talked about the Sorcerer Wizard. So if you haven't checked out that episode yet, go back, have a listen to that one. We do go into a lot of detail about that particular nation state or advanced persistent threat, at least confirm for that. Hard to always say if they're attributable to a nation state, but tend to be ones with those sophistication, tend to be linked to nation states. But anyway, I'm not saying they are or they aren't. We live in this gray area. We got to be careful with how we make assessments, and there's not enough evidence to say that. But do you enjoy this one? If you did, let us know. We always love to see your feedback in the comments wherever you're listening to us right now. The community certainly enjoyed it, and we'll probably be doing more bits like this, whether they get released or not, we're not too sure. But we enjoyed making it. And so if people like it, do you want dedicated episodes to the fun stuff? Do you want us to kind of mix it up, maybe half and half, be a little bit less serious? Or maybe do you want us to just focus on the educational piece of the reason you came here for? You don't want to get to know us as people. You want to get into the knowledge that's stuck inside our heads. That's perfectly fine as well. But anyway, that's all we had time for today. Shorter episodes, trying to make it more consumable. I think everybody's been enjoying that. Certainly the numbers are saying it. So without Robbie here, it leaves just me on my own to say that's a wrap. See you next week.